Welcome back, everyone, to my coverage of the Apple River tubing tragedy. Today's going to be all about the clips from the teens that testified, the teen boys that were all in Isaac Schuman's group. Isaac is the one, as you know, that lost his life that day. This is not the full testimony of everyone. I've clipped it down to important pieces because in essence it's a lot of it's same questions over and over again to different people. So I've kind of tried to pick up the pieces where each left off, I guess, so to speak, so kind of tell a whole story of it all. But I'll also leave in the portions where it shows the video and it shows which people that are testifying and points out where they are in the video. I think that's key and important as well. So let's get to it.
Mr. Cockfield, please come forward. Face the clerk, raise your right hand. She will administer the oath.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give us shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Please have a seat in the witness chair. Mr. Smestad.
Will you please state your name for the record?
My name is Juwan Cockfield.
How do you spell your last name?
Cockfield.
How do you spell your first name?
Jawahn.
How old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
Are you a student or are you working or?
Yeah, I'm a student.
Where are you a student at?
St. John's University.
What kind of activities are you involved in at St. John's?
I'm a member of the football team and the wrestling team, and I study global business.
That's your major field?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with a person named Isaac Schuman?
Yeah.
How did you know Isaac?
Isaac's one of my best friends.
How long did you know him?
Since middle school.
Were you with Isaac the day that he was killed?
Yes, I was.
Were you with the group of boys that were with Isaac on the Apple River on July 30th of 2022?
Yes, I was.
Back on July 30th of 2022, how old were you?
I was 17 years old.
Had you finished high school at that point?
No, I haven't started my senior year yet.
Was it the summer before your senior year?
Yeah.
That's my understanding. Folks all rode over with Alex Bang to the river.
Yes, sir.
You ran to the river edge.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, sir.
Did you get on the river?
Say it again?
Did you get on the river after you ran to the
Yes, sir.
You folks drinking alcohol?
Yes, sir.
What kind of alcohol did you have?
I had a few beers.
Do you remember how many?
Probably like 3 or 4.
Were you drinking any hard liquor at all?
Not that I recall.
Did you use any other substances?
Yes.
What kind of substances?
We smoked some marijuana.
Did Isaac Schuman smoke any marijuana?
No, he did not.
Did you end up taking some video recordings of some things that happened on the river that day?
Yes, I did.
How did you take those recordings?
My cell phone.
Did you specifically record interactions that your group had with Nicolae Miu, the defendant?
Yes, I did.
Are those recordings in 2 separate segments?
Yeah.
One short, one long?
Yes, sir.
Grown man trying to have sex with little girls. What the hell? What the fuck? He's a raper. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Mr. Cockfield, is that the first video you recorded of Mr. Miu that day?
Yes, sir.
Is that your voice?
Yep.
At that point, were you sitting in a tube?
Yep.
Why did you start recording this?
Because he was just kind of looking suspicious from what I was seeing.
All right, was he, you saw in the video that he was standing away from your group? Mm-hmm. Is that yes?
Yeah.
Had he been closer at some point when you started video recording?
Not during that recording, no.
Right.
Like the first one.
Okay. Did you hear yourself say he's a raper?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
He had said like a weird comment. That's kind of why I started recording in the first place. Like, because he was having his snorkel, and it was like 2 feet deep water. So like, what are you doing? And then he just said like a weird comment, something about like some little girls. And then,
did you have any girls with you in your group?
No, I did not have any girls in my group.
Did you see any other girls on the river near where you were?
Yeah, there were some girls on the river.
Child age girls or?
Not that I saw, no.
Did you know Mr. Miu at all?
No.
Did you know whether he was a pedophile or anything like that?
No, I didn't.
And you're making some conclusions based on what you saw him doing?
Yeah.
Objection leading.
Sustained.
After you said he was a raper, did he come closer to your group?
Yeah.
Did you restart your recording?
Yeah, because after I said that, I like looked away and was like, whoa, whoa, because he looks really scary when he looked at us. And then I like refloated up a little bit. And
You say
then
he looked real scary.
like when I said that, like you could see like his face look at me, and like you could see me go like, oh, and then I got scared and then stopped recording.
Did he appear to be angry that you called
Yeah.
him a raper?
Objection speculation.
One at a time, please.
Objection sustained.
Right. When you saw the look on his face, did you start recording again?
Yep.
And the second video, was it how long after the first video? Did
Probably like 10 seconds. We had just floated a little bit further.
I play the second part of the video, Your Honor?
We're ready.
All right.
What is he on? Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Mr. Cockfield, is that the second video that you took that day?
Yes, sir.
Is that your leg in the screen? As we-
Yeah, it is.
Your Honor, for the record, the video is paused at the 6-second mark. Dawn, you see Mr. Miu's hand grabbing onto your tube there?
I do.
Is he touching your leg?
A little bit, yeah.
Did that cause you concern?
Most definitely.
Did he say anything when he came running up and grabbed onto your tube and by your leg there?
I guess I didn't hear him say anything specifically.
All right. Do you recall who you were sitting next to in the tube?
Yeah, I was sitting right next to Landon Wire.
Landon Wire? Did you know whether he grabbed onto any of, or made contact with any of Landon's body parts?
Yeah, definitely.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Once he grabbed onto your tubes and was touching your legs, what did you do?
I stood up.
Were you concerned that he was reaching out for you?
Yeah.
Were you able to get away?
Not really.
I mean, did you stand up and walk away?
No, I didn't walk away.
Did you get out of your tube?
Yeah, I just stood up in my tube so I didn't float away.
Did he make any further physical contact with you after you were able to stand up?
No.
Did you know this person at all?
No.
Do you remember how long you'd been on the river when he ran up and
I guess I'd have to take an educated guess and say like an hour.
did you, when you first saw him, was he alone or was he with a group of people?
He was alone.
All right, did he ever indicate that he was with other folks?
No, not from what I saw.
Did you say anything to him at the time that he grabbed onto the,
Yeah, I was just saying like, whoa, what are you doing?
all right, is that on the video?
Yes, sir.
Did you threaten him in any fashion?
No.
Did you hear Isaac Schuman say anything to Mr. Miu?
Overruled.
Can you say that again?
Did you say anything to Mr. Miu at the time that he ran up and grabbed onto your tubes?
No.
Did you and others start yelling at him to get away?
Yeah.
Do you remember the kind of language you were using?
Yeah, we were just yelling, like, saying, like, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Were you calling him some names?
Yeah, calling him like a pedophile.
Right, why were you calling him a pedophile?
Because he was running up on some kids, and he had said a weird comment earlier.
Did you grab onto your, or touch your part of your leg?
Yes, sir.
Objection speculative. Leading.
Sustained.
Fair to say you and your friends were making a commotion at that point?
Objection
Or
leading.
yes, sir.
Sustained. On leading.
Did somebody else in the river come over to see what was going on?
Yes.
Did you know those folks?
I did not.
Do you remember how many folks initially came over to look, check in on you guys?
Not like an exact number, but it was probably like 6 people.
All right. The first two folks over, were they males or females?
First one was definitely a woman.
All right. Did you see the woman speaking to Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Did you hear She pulled him?
Yeah, she just told him like get away, like pointing and like get away.
Is that also recorded on the radio?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to play another portion, but before that, I'm going to ask you, as you're recording this, were you using your cell phone?
Yeah.
Were you holding it close to your face or out at arm's length? Like,
I actually had it attached to my neck with like this, like there's like a tourist thing, kind of like you just put it in the pouch or whatever. Like it's attached to my neck. It'd probably go out like that far.
all right. Is it fair to say that your recording captured some things that you yourself didn't see at the time?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you're recording, some of the things you're recording, you weren't looking in that direction?
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
It's going to be playing from 7 seconds.
We up! We up, homie! What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? What? Get away from us! What? What are you doing? What's going on with y'all homie? He's on camera. Tripping. He's on 4K. Yo, them new iPhones got that good quality. What did he say? Yeah, what the hell? Who is this? Yes. Further culture. Who is that? Further culture. Who is that? Who the hell is this?
Go. It doesn't matter.
He said he was looking for little girls. He said he was looking for little girls.
You're looking for little girl?
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
Weirding us out. I even have that part on camera. Did I?
Some young ass kid.
What the hell is this guy's problem, bro? We trying to have fun. He's gonna claim you? He's gonna claim you. We don't want this motherfucker. He on camera. Oh God, he on camera.
Pause at 150.
So is that essentially more of the video you took that day? Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sorry.
Is that your voice sort of narrating what's going on?
Yes.
Was that you saying for the culture?
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
I guess kind of like for the greater good. It's like a new saying, I guess.
Sort of street slang?
Yeah.
As you're recording that, did you see Mr. Miu take a knife out of his pocket?
I did not with my own eyes.
You've reviewed the video a few times? Mm-hmm. John, is this a still frame from your video?
Yes.
You see Mr. Miu in the video?
Yes.
You see what he's got in his hands?
Yes.
What is it?
Looks like his knife.
Now, you didn't, was it your testimony earlier, you didn't see him hold the knife or hold the knife? Like,
No.
did you, while you're recording, see him holding the knife down by his side with the blade facing up?
No.
Jawan, is this also a picture from your video?
Yes.
What do you see in that still?
I see him holding his knife.
If you had seen him while you're recording the video holding that knife, what would you have done?
Objection, speculation, irrelevant.
Sustained.
At this point in the video, who's standing in front of Mr. Miu, if you remember?
I guess I don't really know her name, but her, I don't really.
Men or women?
It's a woman.
All right. Was there one or two women standing in front of him?
There was two.
All right. At some point, did you see Mr. Miu do something in relation to one of those women?
Yes.
What did you see?
He punched her.
Which one, do you remember?
I think it was the blonde one.
When you just watched the video, you're aware your video does not capture that punch.
Yeah.
But you saw it yourself.
Yes.
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
Were you looking in a different direction than the camera was
And
pointing?
the camera was, yeah.
And at the time that you saw him punch the blonde woman, could you hand the camera over to where your friends were?
Yeah.
After Mr. Miu punched the blonde lady, what happened? What did you see happen?
I saw all of her friends kind of like start going towards him and like try to, I guess, fight him.
All right, and did a fight break out?
Yes.
Did you know any of the names of these folks?
No, I did not.
Did you see somebody strike Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Did Mr. Miu go down?
Yes.
Did you at any point touch him in any way?
No, not once.
Other than that you touched your leg earlier, you did not touch him?
No, I did not.
Ending at 206, Your Honor. John, did you also record that portion?
Yes.
And as you watch it here today, you see Mr. Miu stabbing folks with a knife.
Mm-hmm. Or yes.
At the time that you recorded that, did you know that was happening?
No.
Was that you laughing in the background?
Yes.
At one point, did you say you hit a woman?
Yeah.
Was that a reaction to what you described earlier?
Yeah.
Did you eventually realize that people were getting hurt?
Yes.
Did you realize that Isaac Schuman had been stabbed?
Yes.
How did you know that?
I kind of just looked down the line of people that were hurt. I saw the first person, like, that's not my friend. That's not my friend. That's not my friend. And the last person I looked at was my guy, Isaac Miu.
As the fight's going on, did you see people bleeding?
Yes.
At some point, did you realize what was happening?
Yes.
And that when you stopped laughing?
Yes.
Judge, we're going back to the video. It'll be from the...
What the fuck? Wait. What the fuck? He's dying. He's dying, bro.
Wait, what? What?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Are we serious? Is this real?
Oh my god.
Who is that?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Is this real? Is this real?
Oh my god. Oh my god, what the fuck?
Is this real? Is this real?
Bike, bro, bike, bike.
That's not bike! That's not bike! That's not bike! That's not bike! That's not Isaac! Oh my god! Oh my god! This isn't real! This isn't real!
John, is that the final part of your video that you took that day?
Yes.
At the end, when you were saying that's not bike, who were you referring to?
Isaac Schuman.
Is that a nickname?
Yeah.
Were you able to see where Mr. Miu went after he stabbed these folks?
No.
Were you concerned about where he went, or were you have other things on your mind?
No.
Did you make your way up to Isaac?
Yeah.
Were you able to see that he had been wounded? Did you try to get some folks to help?
Yeah.
Eventually, did some people stop to help?
Yeah.
Was a nurse one of the people that stopped to help?
Yeah.
Sustained.
Did you know the folks who stopped to help you?
No, I did not.
Did you speak to an officer? At some point, did you tell an officer that you had video of the incident?
Yes, I did.
And did you show that officer the video?
At the time, I just played it to the point where Mr. Miu was in it.
At some point, was the officer able to take a screenshot of a still from your video
Yes.
that showed Mr. Miu?
Yes.
An approach?
Yes.
Isaac, I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 38. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Can you tell us what that is?
That's my cell phone with a still frame of Miu on it.
Is that the still frame that the still picture the officer took of your phone that day? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
I'll move for admission of Exhibit 38.
The objection? Received.
Do you see the person in court who you recorded that day and who did this?
Yes, I do.
Point him out, see what he's wearing.
He's wearing navy and gray pants with some brown shoes.
Nothing further.
Mr. Trophacy.
So, Mr. Hatfield, you are currently a two-sport college athlete, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You play football and you wrestle
Yes.
in college.
Yes.
And what position in football do you play?
I play defensive end.
Defensive end?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you, how big are you?
I'm about 5'11", probably like 235.
5'11", 235 is what you said?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you wrestle at, too?
Heavyweight, yes.
Back in 2022, about the same size?
I was a little bit smaller, yeah.
Wrestle at heavyweight still?
220 pounds, yeah, back then.
So you considered, back in July of 2022, you considered yourself to be a fit young adult, right?
I guess I'd like to think that.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you some questions initially about the interview that you gave with officers, okay?
Okay.
The interview that you gave with officers at the hospital, you indicated that Mr. Miu told you that he was looking for a snorkel. Is that right?
That is what I said.
Okay. You never mentioned to officers that he told you anything about looking for little girls, correct?
If that's what it says.
Well, in a situation where you say he's looking for little girls, do you think it would be important that you would tell officers that he told you he was looking for little girls?
Yeah.
But you never do that, do you?
I guess I didn't.
Did you think it was important?
I guess there was more things that were more important, but that is important in the grand scheme, yes.
Right, so more important was he was looking for a snorkel.
Not really.
Okay, but you mentioned that, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you say, if I have it right, you had 3 to 4 beers and were using marijuana.
Yes.
Okay. There was vodka that had been brought in by your group.
Okay.
True?
Yes.
In Tito's and in like water bottles.
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any of that?
No.
Okay. So just the 3 or 4 beers and some marijuana.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you also, I guess to your credit, tell the police you guys were antagonizing Mr. Miu, right?
After the fact that he hit the woman, yes, we were.
Well, you don't consider calling him a raper antagonizing him?
I mean, based on what he was doing, and it looked like that really, that made him chase after us afterwards, so who knows what he was really doing.
My question to you is, do you believe telling him that he can't have sex with little girls and calling him a raper would be considered antagonizing?
Yes.
And you were the one who was saying that, right?
Yeah, but that's after he ran up on us and like was doing a bunch of weird stuff. Or like he looked weird, I guess I could say.
Okay, so
Saying that, yeah.
this, and you know he's alone, right?
From what I see, he looks alone.
Okay, so, and you know that he's, and what you see, he's kind of an older man,
Yes.
not very fit?
Yes.
Okay, so you see an older, not very fit man walking alone, and you start calling him names.
As I'm sitting on my tube, like I'm saying, like, what are you doing with the snorkel in 2 feet water? And then he said something weird after that.
What business is it of yours on the river what he's doing? He's not bothering you, right?
I mean, I was interacting with every single person we saw that day on the river.
Okay, so
Like, at least most people.
Joanne, my question remains, what business is it of yours to bother a man who's not bothering you?
I was just asking a question. What are you doing?
What are you doing? And he tells you, I'm looking for a snorkel.
At that point,
Yeah.
the snorkel was in his hand at that point.
Well, you tell him that, you tell the police that he told you he's looking for a snorkel. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you then say, grown man can't have sex with little girls. What the hell? What the fuck? He's a raper. Right?
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. You have no information as to what this older man is doing, do you?
No.
Okay. And you say, after you call him a raper, he looks over at you, right? Yes?
Or yes.
Wouldn't you suspect somebody that you called a raper to kind of look over at you?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Are you surprised that he looked over at you?
At the time, yes.
When you were calling him names, you're surprised he glanced over at you.
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled. You can answer.
Yes.
You indicate to police in your interview, they say to you, are you calling him any names? And your response to the police is, there were a couple of us guys calling him a weirdo, right? You told the police that?
Yes.
Okay. You don't tell the police that you're actually calling him a pedophile initially and a raper.
I said on the thing that whatever else I said would be on the video. That's what I said.
Okay. And you don't know what he's doing walking over by where you're at, right?
No.
Okay. So, calling him a raper and saying he can't have sex with little girls, you're doing that to humiliate him, aren't you?
Not necessarily.
Well, what other reason would you be calling him names when you don't know anything about what's happening?
Trying to figure out the situation.
So the way that you're trying to figure out what's happening is by calling a grown man names, yes?
Yes.
And you are yelling at some point, get away from us,
Yes.
right? Okay. And that's after he comes up to your group, right?
Yes.
And when he comes up to your group, you're holding your phone kind of like this, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Recording it. Mm-hmm. Yes, okay. And he walks around your tubes and away from your group, does he not?
After engaging with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be happy. You wanted him to get away from you, and he is getting away from you, right?
Not much. I mean, we're just standing there, and like, he barely walked past us at all, and like, pretty much in our path. We can't flow past him. He's in our path. We can't.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. He walks past you guys, and you guys continue to move toward him, is that right?
Not necessarily. Move towards him.
Yeah, so
What do you mean by that?
if you're Mr. Miu,
Okay.
And at one point, he turns his back to you guys. Is that true? You saw that on the tape?
Yes.
Okay. So this person that you want to get away from you is walked away from where you're standing and turned his back to you. True?
Walked out of our path, like into our path from where we went from. We passed him, and then he ran up on us, and then went in front of us.
You and your group move toward him like I'm moving toward you, right?
No. Well, I mean, like, the way you're describing it isn't necessarily how I would feel like we were doing it, moving towards him. It's kind of just, we were there, yeah.
You were moving, your group was moving closer to where he was standing.
After he had moved completely up to us.
I understand.
Yes.
You want him to get away from you.
Uh-huh.
He's moved downriver a little bit, and your group is moving in his direction. True?
Yeah, the way the river goes, yes, that is his direction.
Okay. And do you remember, Ryan Nelson testified, Mr.
Okay.
Do you remember someone yelling on you in your group? You got 10 seconds.
I don't recall that personally.
Okay. I'm going to play it, and I just want you to listen. You don't have to watch.
Okay.
Just listen, okay?
What did he say?
Could you play it again? I'm not sure if I did. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, them new iPhones got that good quality. What did he say?
Oh, I actually did not hear it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. But you would agree at that point your group is moving in his direction, yes?
As the river would go, yes.
Right. You don't stop, but you're walking with your tubes in his direction. True?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And you say shortly thereafter, you were asked this, you're yelling for the culture, for the culture, right?
Yes.
And you were asked what that meant, and your response was something like for the greater good.
Yeah, along those lines.
What is the greater good of you recording that?
I mean, this guy was, like I said, ran up to our group as we were floating past him, and we were causing a scene like, what is this guy doing? Get away from us. And then people come over to help us. So that's for the culture, for the greater good.
At that point, had the people come up?
Well, when I said for the culture, that's when the people came up. So if that's not at the point where, well, yeah.
Okay, and this is all still...
I said it, yeah.
We try to talk one at a time, okay?
Sorry about that.
It's okay. So, this is something that you want to record, right? This incident,
Yeah.
You want to record this, don't you?
I mean, not really sure what type of question that is.
Well, you don't stop. Hold on. You don't stop recording and try to figure out the situation. You just keep recording what's going on. True.
Yeah, I mean, why would I stop it? At that point, it looked like it was like a weird situation. I just want to record it.
I'm sorry. You said it looked like a weird situation.
Yeah.
Okay. And at this point, you see Mr. Miu walk over to this blonde girl. You know?
Yes.
He's cleared a path for you all to walk through, hasn't he?
Yes.
So you have to be excited. You wanted to get away from him. You said he was standing in your path. He's moved out of your path. So your group can just go right by. True?
I mean, that group came over to help us, so why would we just leave them?
I want you to listen to my question.
Can I hear it?
He moves over so your group can go past.
Is that why he moved over?
I'm not asking you that.
Okay.
I'm asking you, you said you were yelling for him to get away.
Uh-huh.
You wanted him to get away.
Yes.
You said he was standing in your path, right?
Yes.
He moves over out of your path.
Yes.
So your group, you have to be excited because your group now can go right by, right?
I mean, we could float by it, yes.
You could have floated by,
Yes.
but you didn't.
Yes.
You stayed,
Yes.
okay? And you stayed as this other group comes over.
Yes.
Okay? And you, on tape, yelled to this blonde, he's looking for little girls.
Yes.
You don't have that information.
He said that. I remember him
Right.
saying that. So
He
that's
said
what I
that, hold on, you don't have that on tape.
Okay. True, it was not on my video.
And you never told that to the police. True?
True.
Okay. When she comes over and you choose to stay instead of actually moving on with your trip, you hear her yelling at him, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Ryan Nelson described her as being in his face. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So, and her name is Madison Cohen. Okay, just so you know. So you would agree that Madison Cohen is in Mr. Miu's face, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you would agree she appears to be angry, true?
Yes. Or concerned at least.
I'm sorry?
Concerned at least, yes.
You don't tell her what's going on. You just say he said he's looking for little girls, right?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of trying to explain the situation, you're just yelling at her, saying this is what he said.
Yelling to her what the situation is, which would be considered explaining, kind of.
So what's the situation?
He said he was looking for little girls, so I told them, like, that's the main concern of the situation. And then he ran after us, so, yeah.
And he ran after you, and instead of passing, you stay and tell her that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, initially it's the six of you and Mr. Miu. True?
Yes.
You'd agree when this other group comes over, now there's more people involved.
Yes.
Okay. And ultimately, an additional 5 people come over to assist.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're at least up to 11 or 12 people against Mr. Miu. True?
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
that right?
true.
Okay. And during this entire interaction, up to the point we are right now where Ms. Cohen comes over, Mr. Miu's not saying anything aggressively to any of you, right?
No.
He's not physically doing anything to show his aggression toward you, right?
No.
Okay. And you're not afraid of him at that point, true?
Because of the people that came to help, I was not afraid of him at that
Right. So strength in numbers, right?
You could say that.
So the more people that are coming over, is it fair to say, as the number of people increase, your fear level decreases? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And 11, 12, 13 against 1, you're feeling pretty comfortable at that point, right?
Yeah.
And you, when I say you guys, your group, the young Stillwater people, you begin to taunt him, don't you?
What do you mean by taunting?
Kind of get in a circle around him and all start pointing at him that he's a pedophile.
Object to the characterization of being in a circle around him. That's not the evidence.
That'll be up to the jury to decide. Objection overruled. It's cross-examination.
Right?
Can you say that again?
Sure. You guys form kind of a circle around him, are really close to him at that point, pointing like I'm pointing, gesturing, pointing at him, calling him a pedophile.
Yes.
Okay. And because of the way your camera is situated, you're pretty close to him as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And the purpose of taunting him and calling him a pedophile and pointing at him in that situation is what?
Kind of just to let them know what he was doing.
You already let them know what he was doing.
Yeah, but I guess it was just still going on.
What was still going on?
What you just described.
I know what you're doing.
Okay.
The question is, why are you doing it?
I guess I don't know. It was 2 years ago.
Were you doing it to taunt him and humiliate him?
Not necessarily.
So why are you doing it?
Said I guess I don't necessarily know.
Any other explanation that you can think of as to why you would go around somebody pointing at him, taunting him, calling him names, other than to humiliate him? Now, you had mentioned that he had punched the blonde girl, Madison Cohen.
Yes.
Okay. You agree that's not on tape?
Yes.
Are you saying that you saw it, though?
I did.
Okay. When you say that you saw him punch her, she's in his face, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And what happens, if you know, what happens to her?
Like after he punched her?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you see how he punches her?
I kind of just see like a hand come over towards her face or at her face, and then I just see like the follow through. Because I didn't really see anything after that.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about that? And what I mean is, I don't want to mischaracterize what you're saying, okay? Do you know which hand he uses?
No, I can't really think about which hand he used.
Okay. And when I think of a punch, maybe you and I think of it the same way. I think of a fist and somebody kind of putting their weight into it and punching somebody in the face. Is that how you think of it?
I think there's, I guess, a bunch of ways to punch people.
Okay.
Personally, yeah.
How do you see it?
Like a punch?
How do you see this punch?
Just like kind of like a hook.
Okay, so you see him, and you used your right arm, right?
Yeah.
In that situation. So do you believe that he uses his right arm and throws kind of a hook across?
I'm not sure which arm, but it kind of felt like I saw a hook. Yes, a hook.
A hook. Okay. You don't see her go down, do you?
No.
Okay. And at that point, you see this group of people attack Mr. Miu, right?
Yes.
You see him get punched in the face and fall backwards into the river.
Yes.
You think that's funny, right?
After he had hit a woman, I think he was sort of getting what he deserved, yes.
So you thought it was funny?
Funny, yes. I guess I was laughing.
Yeah. And in fact, you had moved up. You got your camera. You're kind of right up in his face with this now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And as he's being attacked, you're laughing throughout that portion of the video, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. When he gets pushed back in the water, you're still laughing after somebody had already been stabbed, right?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
But you're still laughing, true?
True.
You agree that, from what you've seen, Mr. Miu doesn't stab anyone until he's attacked, true?
After he had punched the girl and then was attacked, yes, then he started stabbing people.
Okay. Before that, would you agree the temperature kind of and what's happening is going up and up and up?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. More people are showing up?
Yeah.
She's getting in his face?
Yeah.
Right? It's feeling more volatile to you?
Yeah.
And you're feeling more comfortable because of the numbers, right?
Yeah.
There's a point on that video that you say, I'm paraphrasing, but you hit a woman, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. That's not at the point in the video when you believe he struck Madison Cohen, right?
What do you mean?
Well, there's two.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understood what you were saying there.
Fair enough. You know there's two women involved in this.
Yes.
Okay. When you say he struck a woman, is when he makes contact with Riley Madsen, not Madison Cohen. Do you know that?
Say that again?
Sure.
You said he made contact with me. Yeah.
There's two women, okay?
Okay.
If we're going to do this sequentially, you say he strikes Madison Cohen with a hook.
Yeah.
On that video, you don't say anything about him punching Madison Cohen.
No.
Right?
No, I don't have to. Like, as it happens, I didn't.
Right. You don't mention that on the video.
Not right away.
What you mention on the video is that at the time, sequentially of the video, he makes contact with Riley Madsen. Then you say he hit a woman.
I object, Your Honor. That's not the evidence.
Sustained.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Mr. Cosgrove, thank you for your time.
Mr. Smestain?
Joanne, you were asked about how big you are, that you're a football player and a wrestler. Do you ever touch Mr. Miu in any fashion?
Not once.
Did you ever cock a fist at him or anything like that?
Nope.
Did you ever tell him you were going to give him a beat down?
Nope.
Mr. Prophecy, that you told the police that at one point he said he was looking for a snorkel. Did he actually say that at some point? Mr. Miu, I mean?
I'm not sure at this point.
When he ran up and grabbed onto your tube and made contact with your leg, did he have his snorkel in his mouth?
Yeah, that is. It's like trying to put it in his
Drop it out, so...
Yeah.
You were asked about whether you heard someone say you got 10 seconds. You indicated you didn't hear that. Did you ever say that?
I never said that. Yeah. No.
Did you ever hear anybody in your group say that?
I did not.
Overruled.
Did you ever hear anybody in your group say that?
No.
Mr. Chirophacy had asked you why you didn't float by him and get away from him, and instead you continued recording. Did you have any idea that any of this was going to happen?
No, I did not.
In your wildest dreams, did you ever think it would happen?
No.
As you sit here today, are you glad you recorded it?
Yes.
Do you see that, John?
Yes, I do.
Is that a still frame from your video?
Yes.
How many people are confronting Mr. Miu in that still frame?
2.
Males or females?
Females.
Do you see 11 or 13 other people encircling him in that photo?
I do not.
You see anybody behind him?
No.
What do you see behind him?
Open. Looks open behind him.
That sequence of stills, is that when you panned over to your group of friends?
Yep.
Or your group of friends surrounding him?
Yeah.
And the photos you
What
just
did you say?
watched, was your group of friends surrounding Mr. Miu?
No. No, it wasn't.
Overruled.
What was your answer?
No.
Were you all standing in a line?
Yeah.
Sustained.
How was your group standing in relation to Mr. Miu in these stills that you just watched?
We were just standing kind of by our tubes.
When you spoke to the police, you told them that he punched a woman?
Yes.
Did you sustain?
When you spoke to police, what did you tell him happened with the woman?
That he had hit her.
And that was right after the incident?
Yeah.
Nothing further.
Mr. Prophecy?
You were asked, you're this kind of big guy, did you touch Mr. Miu? And you said that you hadn't, right? He never touched you either, did he?
Besides the very beginning when I was sitting down on my tube.
Right. But otherwise, in terms of being physically aggressive, you weren't physically aggressive toward him, and you weren't harmed in this at all, were you?
No, I was not.
Okay. And you were asked on redirect about, do you recall telling the police that you were looking for a snorkel, and you said you didn't really recall that, right?
Yeah. That's
So
right.
why did you say it?
No, I'm saying I didn't really recall telling the police that.
But you believe that to be true, that he told you he was looking for a snorkel, right?
I guess I don't recall that.
Well, if you didn't, my point is, if you don't believe that he told you that, why would you say it?
I don't know.
The picture that you were shown with the 2 females standing in front of Mr. Miu, you remember that?
Yes.
You'd agree there's approximately 11 people standing behind those 2 people, right?
At that very moment, I'm not sure.
You'd agree that there's a group of people, 2 groups of people, your group of people, and the other group of people have come together, right?
Not necessarily all together. They were like kind of on their way, I guess.
Okay, but there's your group, and then I think you testified, plus at least 5 or 6 others that come over.
Yes.
Okay, so overall, at that point on that video, that still that you were shown, it's 12 on 1, right?
In that still frame, no, it wasn't.
There weren't 12 people standing there?
In that still frame, it was 2 standing next to him, if that's what you're asking me.
With 10 right behind him, right?
I don't know about right behind him.
Well, you saw the video, or you saw the still of you and your group moving forward once you say that Madison Cohen was punched, right?
Yeah.
You're all right there.
Like, they're right here, and then he's right here. Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, you were asked, well, it's open behind him, right?
Yeah.
There's a point in the video where you pan back. Do you see where Mr. Miu's group actually is?
No.
You don't know if he was by himself or with other people, right?
No.
You don't know if your group or the group that had come over had cut him off from getting back to his people, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Mr. Cocktail, I'm just going to ask you a couple questions about things you were asked on redirect. I'm going to show you picture or still 2623, okay?
Okay.
And that's a picture of your friend Alex Vang and a picture of Isaac, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking at them when you're running this camera?
At this point, I'm just like panning around and like looking all around, I guess.
What I'm interested in is your head, your face, your eyes looking at where your camera's looking?
No.
Okay, so...
Or I guess I don't recall technically exactly where my eyes were looking while I was panning around right at this still frame.
Okay. But you'd agree that at this point, Mr. Miu and Ms. Cohen, there would be to, I'm looking at it, they're to the right of this, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And your camera's, you're holding it like this, right?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yep.
And do you know at that point, in order to see what's going on over there, you're holding the camera straight and you're turning your head like I'm turning my head to the right? Yes?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
Well, what you testified to was that your eyes aren't necessarily in the same place as the camera.
Yes.
Okay. What I'm asking you is, you're holding the camera, showing Mr. Vang and Mr. Schuman.
Yes.
Okay. You're not looking at the camera. You're not looking where your camera's being pointed. Is that what you're saying?
Not at every second. No.
I understand. There are points that you're moving around.
Yes.
Right. But your head, in order to see what's going on with Mr. Miu, your head is turned in this direction in order to see this confrontation that's going on.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
While you're keeping your camera here.
Yeah, like I guess I can move my camera, move my head, everything can move.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you, Mr. Craftfield.
Thank you. You may step down. Is he?
Members of the jury, you're about to see the video that they have been referring to. Please pay attention. Please listen carefully. Parts of it may be difficult to hear. The video that you're about to see is evidence, so you may consider this along with the other evidence during this trial. Mr.
Can we dim the lights a little bit?
What is he on? Whoa! 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 Walk away! Whoa! Oh God! We up! We up! Homie. What are you talking about? Yeah. What the hell are you talking about? What? Get away from us! What? What are you doing? What's going on with y'all, homie? He's on camera. Guys, let's tripping. He's on 4K. Yo, the new iPhone got that good quality. What did you say? Yeah, what the hell? Who is this? Yes. For the culture! For the culture! Who is that? For the culture! Who is that? Who the hell is this?
Go. It doesn't matter. Go. He said he was looking for little girl. He said he was looking for little girl. You're looking for little girl? Yeah. That's exactly what he said. Weird us out. I even have that part on camera. Did I? Some young ass kid. What the hell is this guy's problem, bro? We trying to have fun. Is he gonna claim you? He's gonna claim you. We don't want this one. Let it on camera. Let it on camera. He on camera. Oh God. Oh God. He on camera. Oh God. He on camera. He ain't a woman. He ain't a woman. You don't hit a woman. He ain't a woman. You got him. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? He's dying. He's dying, bro. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are we serious? Is this real? Oh my God. Who is that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Is this real? Is this real? Oh my God. Oh my God, what the fuck? Is this real? Wait. That's not Bark! That's not Bark! That's not Bark! That's not Bark! That's not Isaac! Oh my God! Oh my God! This isn't real! This isn't real!
Can you say your name for the record, please?
Ryan Nelson,
And how old are you, Ryan?
18.
Were you familiar with a person named Isaac Schuman?
Yes.
How did you know him?
He was one of my best friends
How long were you best friends with Isaac?
since middle school.
Do you recall the day of July 30th of 2022?
Yes.
Were you with Isaac on that day?
Yes.
Were you with him when he was killed?
Yes.
How old were you back on July 30th of 2022?
17.
Had you finished high school yet?
No.
What grade were you in?
Summer going into senior year.
On July 30th of 2022, had you made some plans to spend time with your friends that day on the Apple River near Somerset?
Yes.
What was the plan? How did the day start?
Well, we texted the night before and made plans to meet up and I'll go tubing on the Apple River.
Where did you meet up at?
Stillwater High School.
Who was in your group that day?
Me, Isaac, Owen, Jawan, Landon, Alex.
Judge, if I can approach the witness.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 62. You recognize that?
Yes.
Can you tell us what it is?
It's a picture of all my friends over there.
When you got to Stillwater High School that day, was the plan to all ride together over to the Apple River?
Yes.
Who drove?
Alex Hang.
I'm going to have you look at Exhibit 62 there that you're holding on to. Can you identify the folks in the picture for the jury? From left to right.
Alex Vang, Juwan Cockfield, Owen Peliquin, me, Ryan Nelson, Landon Wire, and then Isaac Schuman.
That's Isaac in the hat on the right.
Yes.
Is that what you were all wearing on the river that day?
Yes.
You may have already answered this, but who drove from Stillwater over to the Apple River?
Alex Vang.
And you all went in his vehicle?
Yep.
Where did you go first?
We went right up to Park where we got the tubes. River's Edge, I think it's called.
You rented tubes there?
Yeah.
You remember how many tubes you rented?
One for each of us and then one more for our stuff, I believe.
All right. When they give you the tubes, are they connected together or do you connect them together there?
You had to get a a wire, like a twine, to connect them together.
Did you do that?
Yes.
Did you make sort of one big raft out of your tubes?
Yes.
After you rented the tubes, did you get on the river right away, or were you hanging out in the park?
No, we went right straight to the river.
All right. Do you know what time it was when you got on the river?
Not exactly, probably roughly around noon.
Once you got on the river, did you folks bring drinks with you
Yes.
in a cooler of some sort?
Yes.
What were you drinking?
Beers and seltzers.
All right. You're 17 at the time.
Yes.
Do you remember how many beers you had?
I personally had about 3 to 4.
Were you or other folks in your group smoking marijuana?
Yes.
Was Isaac Schuman smoking any marijuana?
I don't think so, no.
As you're going down the river, did you eventually have contact with the defendant, Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Do you know where it was when you first saw him?
Where the incident happened.
Sure. Were you near any landmarks that you can remember?
A bridge.
What was he doing when you first approached him?
Well, he first approached us. He was snorkeling by our tubes.
Did you ask him what he was doing?
Yes, multiple times.
And what did he tell you?
He didn't say anything.
Did he ever tell you he was looking for a phone?
No.
Do you ever remember hearing him saying anything about looking for little girls?
No, not me personally.
All right. Ultimately, did you approach your group?
Yes.
You were here when we played the video in the court right before your testimony.
Yes.
The first part of that video, did you see Mr. Miu running up towards your group?
Yes.
Is that the legs of a couple of your friends in that video, the first few seconds of that video?
Yes.
That's your raft of tubes?
Yes.
As Mr. Miu is running up on your group, did he say anything about why he was running towards you?
No.
Did he say why he was grabbing onto your tubes?
No.
Were you able to see on the video that he was reaching towards where the legs were of the two people in the tubes that you can see in the video?
Yes.
Did he make physical contact with those folks?
He didn't make physical contact with me, so I know.
Did everybody bail out of their tubes once he ran up?
Yes.
Did you have some concern when you saw him running up and grabbing onto your tubes?
Yeah, a lot.
Did he say anything at all after he grabbed onto your tubes?
No.
Were you sitting or standing in your tube when he ran up?
Sitting.
Did you get up?
Yes.
Why?
I was scared.
Were you trying to get away from him?
Yes.
Did you say anything to him?
Yes, we asked him what he was doing, and we told him to leave multiple times.
All right. Fair to say you were raising your voice and yelling at him,
Yeah.
like we saw in the video?
Mm.
Did you threaten him in any fashion?
No, not at all.
Did you hear Isaac Schuman threaten Mr. Miu in any fashion?
No.
Did you yourself have any kind of knife?
No.
Did you see anybody in your group with any kind of knife?
No.
Is it fair to say you were calling him some names?
Yeah.
Why were you doing that?
We had no idea of his intentions, and we asked him, and he never ever stated them.
At some point, were you yelling for him to get away?
Yes.
Did another group on the river come over to investigate what was going on?
Yes.
Did you know any of those people?
No.
Did you see where they came from?
Just the other side of the river.
Were they adults or were they kids?
Young adults.
Older than your group?
Yeah.
Once this other group came over, was it women or men, if you remember?
I believe 2 girls approached first.
All right. And what did they do when they approached?
Also told him to leave.
All right. Did he leave?
No.
Once these other folks came over to tell him to leave, did that change your level of concern with what he was doing?
Yeah.
In what way?
It was a little confusing and also concerning why he wasn't leaving. He could have just removed himself from the situation like everyone asked him to.
Did he ever tell you why he wanted to stay near your group?
No.
Is it fair to say that at some point you and your friends were laughing at him?
Yeah.
And why were you doing that?
We thought he was just really weird, to be honest.
Do you remember how many folks were in the group that came over to help you guys?
No.
Do you know how many times you told Mr. Miu, or you and your group told Mr. Miu to leave you alone?
More than I can count.
All right. Your Honor, we're going to show still 1219 from Exhibit 3. All right, Ryan, do you see the picture that's on the screen in front of you?
Yes.
That's still number 1219 from the video. Can you tell us who's in this picture?
Isaac, Owen, and then I can't quite tell who that guy on the left is.
All right. Is Isaac, which one is Isaac?
Purple shorts,
Is he wearing a hat or not wearing a hat?
wearing a hat,
What is Isaac doing in this picture?
holding Owen. It looks like arm towards Owen and looking at Mr. Miu, maybe.
The person on the right, who's that?
Owen Peliquin.
He was also in your group.
Yes.
What's he doing at that point?
It looks like saying something to Mr. Miu.
All right. Where were you when that, if you remember, where were you in location to this picture, or in relation to this picture?
I believe I was near Juwan and Landon.
Back behind the tubes?
Yep.
Joan's the person taking the video?
Yes.
All right, Brian, this is still frame 1279 from the video. What does this picture show?
Isaac with his hands raised
All
towards
right, does
Mr.
he have
Miu.
anything in his hands?
No.
Who's that in front of Isaac?
Mr. Miu.
Are Isaac's hands open or closed in fists?
Open.
Can you tell, or do you remember what he was doing with his hands at that point?
No, just looks like he has his hands raised.
I'm going to show you now, still 1297 from the video. Who is in this picture?
Me?
That's you on the left,
Yep.
holding onto the tubes.
Yes.
Mr. Miu on the right.
Yes.
Is that Isaac, part of Isaac's arm in that photo?
Yes, looks like it.
All right, do you have anything in your hand in this photo?
No.
Referring to your right hand, your left hand you can't see, right?
Yeah, I didn't have anything in my left hand either, though.
Showing you still frame 2596 from the video. Can you tell us what that is?
Me?
All right, and on the right, who's that, if you know?
I don't recognize her.
Is that one of the folks that came over to
Yeah.
help you out? Do you have anything in your hands there?
No.
At that point, you appear to be smiling.
Yeah.
While you were having this argument with Mr. Miu and trying to figure out what he was doing, were you able to see his face?
Yeah.
Did he look to be frightened?
No.
What kind of facial expression did he have?
He was smiling.
While you were having this argument with him, were you able to tell whether he had anything in his hands?
No.
Did you ever see him holding a knife?
No.
Fair to say the video shows that the incident happened pretty fast.
Yeah.
While the two women are talking to Mr. Miu, what happened next? What did he do?
He punched one of the girls in the face.
You remember which one it was?
I believe the blonde one. Not
Right.
100% sure, though.
And looking back at the photo that we have up, which is 2596, is that where you were standing when he punched the blonde woman in the face?
Relatively, yeah.
So fairly close.
Yeah.
Prior to Mr. Miu punching the blonde woman, had you seen anybody strike him in any fashion?
No.
You didn't see anybody punch him?
No.
When you say he punched the lady, is it possible that he was flailing his arms to protect himself or something along
No.
those lines?
It looked like he struck her definitively with his right hand.
After the blonde woman was punched, what happened next? Did
I believe her friends tried to come to her rescue and push Mr. Miu to the ground and hit him and pushed him again.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Did you see him in the water?
Yes.
Do you remember how many times he was hit when he was in the water?
2 or 3 maybe, I believe.
Right. At some point, did he get on his hands and knees?
Yeah.
What happened next?
He got up, swinging his knife and stabbing everyone.
All right. At that point, did you know that he had a knife in his hand?
Yeah, well, I know until I saw the person standing next to me who had his whole stomach cut open. And
The person who got his whole stomach cut open, was he holding any kind of knife?
no.
Did you see anybody in the group that came over to help you have any kind of weapons?
No.
What did you do after you realized that the one gentleman had his belly slit open?
I was in shock. I didn't really know what to do. I tried to tell my friends because I'd make sure they were seeing what I was seeing, and then I went and stood in our tubes.
You left the general area?
Yeah.
Were you aware that Isaac had been stabbed?
Not for like a minute.
Eventually, did you realize that Isaac was down?
Yes.
Did you see him in the water?
Yes.
Did you see a wound on his body?
Yes.
Where was it?
His upper chest.
Was he bleeding?
Yes.
Ultimately, did you and then the rest of your group were attempts made to help Isaac get to shore?
Yes.
Who did that?
Owen and Alex.
All right, and where were you at that point?
I was still standing in the tubes.
Were you injured at all?
No.
Did you ever lay a hand on Mr. Miu?
No.
After you realized that folks had been stabbed, did you see what Mr. Miu did?
No.
Did you see where he went?
Mm-mm.
Is that a no?
Yeah, no. Sorry.
Can you tell us who's in this picture that you know of?
The only person I recognize is myself.
All right, you're in the blue trunks in the middle.
Yes.
Is this the point where Mr. Miu had punched the blonde woman?
Yes.
Did you take a step forward?
Yes.
Why'd you do that?
In her defense to help protect her.
All right. Did you end up doing anything to help protect her?
No.
I think you already testified some other gentleman took care of that.
Yes.
Whereabouts on her body did Mr. Miu punch the blonde woman?
I believe in her face.
Say that again?
In her face, I believe.
All right. At some point then, did you go to the area where Isaac was being laid on the shore of the river?
Yes.
Did you, the rest of your group also end up there?
Yes.
Did anybody call 911 if you know?
Yes.
Do you know who did that?
Not. I think a lot of people did. I don't know who specifically.
Were there some folks that stopped to render aid to Isaac?
Yes.
Was one of them a nurse?
Yes.
What kind of aid did she give Isaac?
I wasn't over there. I'm not sure.
All right. Did you see anybody doing CPR on him?
I wasn't close enough.
All right. At some point, did the police arrive on the river?
Yes.
They waded through the water to get to where you folks were?
Yes.
Did you speak to the police officers
After, yes.
up on the shore?
Yep.
At some point, was Isaac taken off the river?
Yes.
Was he ultimately put in an ambulance and taken to a hospital?
Yes.
Did you follow?
Yes.
Even though this incident happened almost 2 years ago, do you still remember the face of the person who did this?
Yes.
Do you see him in the courtroom here?
Yes.
You point him out and say what he's wearing?
He's wearing a black suit, black pants, brown shoes.
Your Honor, that's the record to reflect identification of the defendant. Nothing further.
Mr. Trofficy.
So, Mr. Nelson, you provided an interview with a
Clear it. Monitor's off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
with an investigator, Dittman. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And to start with, one of the things that Officer Dittman was interested in was how much alcohol you had consumed that day. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he told you weren't going to get in any trouble for anything. He just wanted the truth, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you indicated to him, well, he initially asked you if you guys were drinking any hard alcohol, right?
Yep.
And you said that you weren't.
Yep.
That's a lie, right?
No, I myself was not drinking hard alcohol.
You guys brought Tito's vodka in water bottles and were doing shots on the river?
I wasn't, but my friends were. Yes.
Okay. And you were asked about Isaac drinking that day?
Yes.
Right? And you had told Officer Dittman that you think you had 3 or 4 drinks?
Yes.
And you said, I think Isaac had about the same?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware that Isaac's alcohol level was almost a .22?
Object, Your Honor.
I was not aware of that.
Hold on.
Foundation.
Come on up. Objection overruled. Mr. Trofficy.
Mr. Nelson, are you aware that Isaac Schuman's blood alcohol concentration was a 219.
No, I was not aware.
Okay. But you say that you guys were about the same, right, in alcohol level?
Well, I was just a guess. He asked me to provide an estimate, and I did. I wasn't keeping track of other people's drinks.
Right, but you provided that your estimate and
Yeah.
your drinking and his drinking were pretty close.
Yes.
So you were impaired, yes?
Slightly, yes.
Okay. And you were asked and gave some answers regarding your initial contact with Mr. Miu. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Okay, and you had said, if I have it right, he snorkeled by us and didn't say anything.
Yep.
Okay. Your interview with Detective or Investigator Dittman, you indicated, yeah, so this weird guy, he was wearing a snorkel at first, came up to us and was kind of like talking to us, and we were a little weirded out, right?
Yep.
So which one's true?
I don't remember him saying anything.
Okay, so when did you give the statement to Investigator Dittman?
Was that the one at the bank or the hospital?
How many interviews did you give?
2.
When did you give them, if you remember?
One was on the bank after the incident, and then one was at the hospital.
Is your memory better back then about what happened, or is it better today?
I'm not sure.
Well, do you remember things that happened closer in time to the event, or as more time goes by?
I think I remember them both the same.
So if something happened 2 years ago, you would remember it the same as if you were giving that statement a day or two after?
Yeah, I would try.
Okay. So you don't recall him saying anything to you guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you all were saying something to him, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. You didn't tell that to Investigator Dittman, did you?
I don't remember.
You left out the fact that you guys started taunting him and tormenting him. Right?
After we told him to leave, yes.
Well, talking about the first time, not the second time that we've seen the video. The first time we haven't seen the video for yet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that incident?
Yes.
Okay. You don't tell Investigator Dittman about what you guys were doing to Mr. Miu at that point, do you?
No.
Why not?
I just didn't think it was relevant.
You didn't think it was relevant on this person that you're saying did all these things to your friends? Wasn't relevant that you had contact with him earlier in that day?
It was like minutes, seconds before. It wasn't like earlier in the day. It was around the same time.
Right, and you didn't think it was relevant that you would inform him that you guys were taunting Mr. Miu and calling him names, right?
No.
Okay. I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibit number 2. I'm going to play you a short video and ask you if you remember the video.
Okay.
Grown man trying to have sex with little girls. What the hell? What the fuck? He's a raper. Whoa.
So he's walking by you guys. He's not right on top of you there, is he?
He was previously, but not that in that moment. No, he's not.
So your friend just didn't get that on video?
No, we started taking a video once he was being weird towards us. We wouldn't have videoed him just out of the blue.
So when he was just walking by there and your friend just started saying, you can't have sex with little girls, right?
That was after he was snorkeling under our tubes without saying anything.
Where do you tell Officer Investigator Dittman that he was snorkeling underneath your tubes?
By our tubes.
Oh, so by your tubes, not underneath your tubes.
Misspoke. I apologize.
Okay. So he's snorkeling by your tubes.
Yep.
And you guys start calling him names.
No, we asked what he was doing and who he was, why he was there. Because we found it a little weird that he was not in a tube like everyone else, but he was snorkeling right by our tubes. And so we asked him what he was doing. He never said anything. So then we started calling him names, yeah.
Okay. And the purpose of you don't know him, do you?
No.
The purpose of calling a grown man that you've never met a raper.
That wasn't me.
Okay. The purpose of, do you know why that was said?
No.
To your knowledge, had Mr. Cockfield ever met Mr. Miu before?
No.
Okay. You think it was funny?
No.
Did you ever tell him to stop?
No.
Okay. And shortly after this is when Mr. Miu moves toward your tubes, is that right?
Yeah, when he runs at us.
Okay. And your statement to Investigator Dittman is that Mr. Miu was standing over your tubes. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know why he came up to your tubes?
No.
Was Jawan Cockfield holding a camera at that time?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, Mr. Miu walks, he comes up to your tubes, then he walks around the tubes and actually starts to walk away from you guys, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying, your group is saying, get away, go, and he's doing that, right?
Not really.
You just said he was walking away.
But he didn't leave. He didn't walk away. He just walked a couple of steps and then stayed near.
And you guys follow.
No.
You don't advance toward him? Your group doesn't advance
We
toward him?
stayed by our tubes. As you saw in the still frames, I'm standing right next to our tubes.
You showed us the still frame, or we saw the still frame involving Isaac Schuman, right?
Yeah.
When he's got his arms up in the air like this, right?
Yes.
He's not standing next to his tube, is he?
I don't know. He might be. He might be able to see the tubes in the picture. I can't remember.
He's confronting Mr. Miu, isn't he?
No, had his hands up, raised. He was telling him to leave also. There's no confrontation at that point.
I guess what I'm trying to ask you here, Mr. Nelson, is
Yeah.
you guys told him to leave, so he moves away from you. Then your group moves toward him. That's true, right?
I don't think we really. He left. You keep saying he leaves, and I don't. He never really left.
Can you just bring it? I'd rather just see the video. Sure. I'm going to show you, I'm just going to play for you a really short portion of the video that you've already seen.
Okay.
Okay? And I want you to tell me when you watch it if it appears to you that Mr. Miu is walking away from your group.
Okay.
Okay? So at 27 seconds, Mr. Nelson, I want you to watch this video first for a brief moment.
He's on camera. Guys, let's tripping. He's on 4K. Yo, the new iPhone got that good quality. What do you say?
So he's walking away from where your tubes are.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, but at the end of the video, you can see him turn his body back towards us, and then I assume he walked back towards us.
You don't know if he did.
We could watch the rest of the video and find out.
Well, we will, but your group walks toward him, right? You keep saying they don't, and it's clear they're moving in his direction, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you're moving in his direction because you've testified that you're scared, right?
Our tubes were all still right around our tubes. That's our property. We're not like.
How come you don't go around him? You've said that he could.
What do you mean?
Hold on. You said he could leave, right?
Yeah.
He could have walked away. You could have walked away, right?
Yeah.
You didn't walk away either, did you?
No.
And that river, anybody can use that river if we're being honest with one another, true?
Yeah.
Okay. So he doesn't have any more responsibility to walk away than you guys do, does he?
Nope.
Okay. And if I said to you that at some point this other group starts coming over, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, are you guys calling him a pedophile?
I think, yeah, we were previously.
You were previously calling him a pedophile.
Like, we were shouting, and that's, I think, why they came over.
Okay. And I'm sorry, you said you believe that's why they came over?
They heard us shouting, so I
Sure.
believe, yeah.
And certainly to you, shouting pedophile could be something that would draw people's attention, right?
Yes.
So you don't have any information that he was looking for small children, do you?
No.
Okay. You'd agree, calling somebody a pedophile isn't the same thing as calling somebody like a jerk or an a-hole or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That's like, you're telling somebody, or you're telling people this guy's looking to have sex with small children, right?
I didn't say that.
That's what a pedophile is though, you know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys, to a man you've never met before, have no information about people in your group are yelling on the river that he's a pedophile. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And by your own admission, you believe that draws the attention of another group of people to come over.
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember independently, I know you've seen the video now, do you remember independently, he walks away from you guys kind of over to her, doesn't he? Like walking toward you. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. And she, to your recollection, immediately tells him, go, get your fucking ass, go. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So, in terms of what you can see, she doesn't wait to find out what's actually happening either, does she?
No.
Right?
Yep.
She jumps into this and is yelling for Mr. Miu to go without knowing anything about what had happened based on the contact you had.
Yes.
Okay. And you describe her to police as, quote, getting in his face. Is that fair?
Yep.
What do you mean by that?
She was yelling at him to leave.
Well, you could yell at me to leave from here, right?
Yeah. She was close to him, right in front of him.
Okay, so I won't invade your space, but what in your definition of getting in someone's face is getting close to them? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. And is it in part based on the volume of her voice too?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I said to you, what you observed is this woman, her name is Madison Cohen,
Okay.
but she is close to his face yelling at him. Is that
Yes.
fair? Yes?
Yep.
Okay. And at that point, he's alone, to your knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's a yes.
Yes. Sorry.
And initially, there's 6 guys in your group,
Yep.
and you say that 2 females come over.
Yes.
Okay. More people come over as this continues on. Is that true?
Correct.
Okay. So at one point, it's at least, if you know, it's at least 10, 12 versus 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you, well, can I ask you this? Do you believe that the situation was getting, that the temperature was rising in terms of the situation as time was passing?
Maybe a little. Yeah.
Okay, so it started out maybe here, and as time is going, the blonde shows up, it starts getting more and more heated. Is that fair?
A little. Yeah.
Okay. So in a situation where it's getting more and more heated, would you agree that physically putting your hands on another person in that situation could be a show of aggression?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. That calls for a conclusion.
Sustained.
Did you see Madison Cohen, the blonde girl, put her hands on Nick Miu?
No.
Did you see her at any point move him or redirect him with her hands?
No.
Okay. So you had said that his presence here made you afraid.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you, do you recall ever saying personally in your contact, you got 10 seconds?
No, I don't remember saying that.
So you're not saying that you said it?
I don't remember saying that, no.
Okay. Do you recall other people in your group? Do you remember hearing that being said?
No.
Okay. To you is a statement, if I said to you, you got 10 seconds, is that something that you would take as a show of aggression?
Objection, Your Honor. It's same objection.
It's what?
It's the same objection. It's
Sustained.
Can you play the video? So I need you to listen to this,
Okay.
Mr. Nelson, and it might take more than once, but I want you to listen to hear if you hear someone in your group saying that, okay?
What do you say?
Did you hear that?
No.
Okay, can you play it at least one more time?
Playing again at 36 seconds.
What do you say?
So you hear somebody say you got 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that, based on, that's not Mr. Miu talking, right?
No.
Okay, so somebody in your group is saying you've got 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, are you still frightened?
Just more weirded out now.
Okay, so it goes from frightened to weirded out.
Yeah, he had moved away from us a little bit, so it was more scared when he ran at us and grabbed our tubes, and then it became more like, who's this guy? I'm more weirded out.
Okay. Did it go from then weirded out to not really afraid at all?
Yeah.
Right. There comes a point that you've seen on here where your group has kind of surrounded Mr. Miu, and you're all taunting and pointing at him. Is that right?
I want to object, Your Honor, to the term surrounded. I think it's a mischaracterization of the
Why not?
video.
Objections overruled. Mr. Schroffensen.
So you would agree that your group had moved around him, and you watched the video, you're all pointing at him, taunting him, calling him a predator, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it fair to say at that point the fear has left you?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you personally feel more confident because the other group has come over?
Maybe a little.
Okay.
Landon Wire.
How do you spell your last name?
Weyer.
How old are you?
19.
What do you do for a living?
I play football at UMD and go to school there, but I'm in the process of transferring right now.
And by UMD, do you mean University of Minnesota Duluth?
Yep.
Were you familiar with a person named Isaac Schuman?
Yep.
How did you know Isaac?
We've been friends. We were friends since I was like 7th grade.
You described your relationship as close.
Yes.
Do you recall the day of July 30th, 2022?
Yes.
Were you with Isaac that day?
Yes.
Were you with him on the river when he was killed?
Yes.
Were you part of the group that had met at Stillwater High School and rode over with Alex Vang's vehicle to River's Edge to rent tubes?
Yes.
Were you with the group the whole day?
Yes.
Do you remember what time you got on the river? About what time?
I do not.
Were your tubes tied together?
Yes.
Did that create one big raft?
Yes.
Were you all sitting on the tubes
Yes.
as you were going down the river?
Yes.
Did you have any alcohol to drink?
Yes.
What did you personally have to drink?
A couple beers and maybe a couple shots.
Okay, what kind of shots did you drink?
Tito's.
Is that a vodka?
Yes.
Did you have use any other substances?
We also smoked.
When you say you smoked, is that referring to marijuana?
Yes.
Did you see Isaac Schuman using any marijuana that day?
I don't remember.
Despite the alcohol you drank and the marijuana you used, do you have a recollection or a memory of what happened that day?
Yes.
When you first saw Mr. Miu, what did he appear to be doing?
He was standing in short water with the goggles and a snorkel.
All right. Did you ask him or anybody in your group ask him what he was doing?
Said something along the lines of, "Yeah, what are you doing?"
Okay. Now, did he answer? Did you hear him answer, I guess?
Not right away because we were too far away.
All right. As you got closer to him, did he say what he was doing?
He mentioned something about little girls.
Do you know how close you were to him when he said that?
Not necessarily, no.
All right. At some point, did Jawan Cockfield call him some names?
Yes.
What is he on? Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Landon, do you recall this moment on the river back in 2022?
Yes.
What is Mr. Miu doing in that portion of the video we just watched?
Looks like he's about to reach over me and grab our tubes.
Are those your legs in the video where we're stopped? And I guess the timestamp is At the 4-second mark?
Yeah.
Were you sitting next to Jawan?
Yes.
Does Mr. Miu come running up to where you are sitting on the tubes?
Yes.
Does he grab at the area where your legs are?
Yes.
Did he physically touch your legs?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Did Mr. Miu make any kind of contact with anybody on the tubes?
I believe when he was reaching over, he touched me a little bit.
All right.
Get away!
We stopped at 12-second mark. That portion of the video, what do you do when he comes up and grabs onto the area where your legs are?
I was just scared, just got up.
Did you bail out of your tube?
Yeah.
Did you have some concerns about what he was doing when he came up and reached towards you?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes, I was scared.
Did he say anything as he came running up to you?
I don't remember.
All right. Did he give you any kind of explanation for why he was grabbing at your legs?
No.
Did you have any adults with you in your group?
No.
Everybody in your group 17 at the time?
Yes.
After he grabbed onto your tubes, did you see what he did next? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
All right. At some point, did he take several steps away from your group?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you say anything to him as he was interacting with you originally?
I don't necessarily remember.
Can you keep your voice up, please?
I don't remember.
All right. Do you know whether you called him any names?
I mean, I might have said that he was a pedophile or something like that.
Did you swear at him at all?
No.
Did you threaten him?
No.
At some point, do you recall laughing at him?
Yes.
And why were you laughing at him?
Once more people came, I felt a little bit more comfortable and with the adults being around. So I felt more comfortable.
Did you ever hear Isaac Schuman say anything to Mr. Miu that you recall?
No, not that I recall.
At some point, did you see the girls having an argument with Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Do you have a memory of that?
Yes, I remember she was telling him to leave us alone and go away.
All right. Do you recall where you were standing at the time they were having that conversation with him?
I was standing in front of him next to Jawan in the video.
Do you have an idea of how far away you were?
Probably feet away.
All right. At some point, did you see Mr. Miu react physically to these women that are yelling at him?
Yes.
What did you see him do?
I saw him strike her.
Okay, which one did he strike, if you remember?
She had blonde hair. She was standing right in front of him.
Okay, did you know him at all? Or know her at all?
I did not know.
Did you see which hand he hit her with?
Not necessarily, no. I think it was his right hand.
All right, did you see whether it was a closed fist or a open palm?
I did not.
Did you see whether he had a knife in his hand at the time that happened?
No.
All right.
I saw him get punched after, and then I saw people stabbed.
All right. When Mr. Miu got punched, did he go down in the water?
Yes.
Did you or any of your guys jump on him, hit him, kick him while he was in the water?
No.
How many people did you see actually hit Mr. Miu when he was in the water?
I only saw him get hit when the first initial strike.
All right. At some point, did he get up out of the water?
Yes.
Did you notice at that point if he had a knife in his hand or not?
No.
Eventually, did you realize that there were some people? Did you see some injured people eventually?
Yes.
Do you know how they got injured?
The first thing I saw was someone holding their stomach. It's the first thing I saw.
Did that cause you concern?
Yeah, that was very traumatizing.
Did you flee the area?
I was standing there for a while, and then I ended up going further away next to the tubes.
All right. All right. This video, do you see two people?
Yes.
One in the foreground, one in the background?
Yeah.
Which one? Is one of them you?
Yes, I'm in the background.
All right. We're starting at 2891. You can stop it there. We're at 2926. Landon, do you see Mr. Miu in this frame? Or at least his arm?
Yes.
Do you see if he's holding anything in his hand?
Looks like there could be a knife in his hand there.
Had you moved from your previous position that was shown in 2891 where you were standing?
I don't remember.
All right. Do you remember rushing up towards him or doing anything like that?
No.
Did you ever lay a hand on him?
No.
Did he ever lay a hand on you other than when he grabbed onto your tubes?
I don't believe so, no.
Did you ever get close enough to him where he could have done that?
Yes.
At some point, did you realize that Isaac had been stabbed?
Yes.
How did you know that?
I believe Jawan screamed out his name, and then I looked and saw.
At some point, was Isaac taken off the river by medical personnel?
Yes.
Did you go with him, follow him?
Yes, I was. Yes.
Was Isaac first taken up to the road near the bridge?
Yes.
Did you speak to any police officers while you were still near the river? Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't remember, no.
Was Isaac taken to the hospital?
Yes.
Did you go to the hospital with him?
Yes.
Do you remember speaking to a police officer at the hospital?
Yes.
Did you tell them what happened?
Yes.
What you saw?
Yes.
So, Mr. Weiger, you are, I want to make sure I got this right. 2 of the 6 of you that were there that day are now college football players. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Cockfield plays college football, and so do you?
Yes.
Okay. And what position do you play, sir?
Safety.
Okay. And how big are you?
5'11", 187 pounds.
And you indicated on direct examination that you had been consuming alcohol that day, is that right?
Yes.
And you had been using marijuana?
Yes.
Okay. You were asked by officers questions about your drinking and how much you believe you had to drink. Is that right? Do you remember that?
Yes.
All right. And you were asked that by officers in comparison to what Isaac had been drinking that day. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And you had said that, in your opinion, Isaac was the least drunk person out there, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you believe, in your own mind, that you were more intoxicated than Isaac, right?
I believe that Isaac seemed to be composed. That's why I said that he seemed to.
So to answer my question, do you believe that you were more intoxicated than Isaac?
I don't know.
Do you think you had drank about the same as he drank?
I don't know. I wasn't keeping track.
Okay. Now, you just testified on direct examination that I'm going to talk to you about the first contact you have with Mr. Miu. Okay? That first contact, you testified that he's standing in shallow water, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are asking him questions?
We were saying something along the lines of, why is he standing in shallow water with snorkels on? What is he doing? Yes.
And your answer was, today, he told us that he was something about little girls, right?
Yes.
Okay. You also never mentioned that to the police, do you?
I don't remember.
You don't remember whether or not you told the police that this gentleman was looking for little girls? You don't have any recollection of whether you told them that?
I believe I said that, but I don't remember.
So you believe under oath today that you did tell someone that?
I object, Your Honor. He says he doesn't remember.
Overruled. Let's clean it up.
I don't remember. I thought I said it to the cop at the hospital.
I'm sorry, I missed that last part, sir.
I thought I said it to the cop at the hospital, but I do not remember.
If I told you what you said to the cop at the hospital wasn't that he was looking for little girls, but rather, I can't even tell you what he was saying.
He said something about little girls, but I couldn't recite exactly what he said.
You'd agree that's not what you tell the police. What you tell the police is, he was saying stuff, I can't tell you what he was saying. Right? That's what you tell the police, though. Right?
That's what it says.
And you here, well, let me ask you this. Mr. Cockfield acknowledged that your group was antagonizing Mr. Miu. Would you agree with that?
I object, Your Honor, to use of one other witness's testimony.
Sustained. Sustained.
Do you believe your group was antagonizing Mr. Miu?
I believe that we said things to him.
Well, we all know you said things to him. Did you say things to him to antagonize him?
I don't know.
Calling him a raper and a pedophile and a predator. You would say those are things to antagonize someone, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, he's by himself, right?
Yes.
Okay, so and you see that he's a little bit older and a little bit out of shape, right?
Yes.
Okay. And your group, you've already said, has at least 2 future college football players in it. And you're scared at that point?
I was a 17-year-old kid. I was scared.
So the answer is you were scared?
Yes.
Okay. And you were scared of what physically could happen?
Yes, at the time he was much bigger than me.
Okay. And we've heard on the tape that someone says, you've got 10 seconds. Do you recall saying that?
I do not.
Do you recall someone in your group saying,
I do not.
You've got 10 seconds?
I do not.
Okay. So I think you told the police that once Mr. Miu comes over, you'd agree he comes over to your tubes, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember that he had a snorkel in his mouth at one point? When he comes over?
I don't know. I just remember he had one.
Okay. And he then walks around your tubes. Is that true?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. Do you remember him leaving your where your tubes were and walking what would be downstream a little bit? You remember that?
I do not remember that.
Do you remember him turning his back to your group? You remember that?
I remember that.
Do you remember your people in your group approaching Mr. Miu?
I do not.
Can I ask you, what do you remember about that? About that particular part of the incident? Do you remember anything about it?
I do.
Okay. So after he walks around your tubes, what do you remember?
I remember that we walked away and then people came to us and then we were standing in front of him and I'm standing by my tubes. We're all standing by our tubes in front of Miu and people were talking to him.
So I want to make sure I understand it. You said you walked away, or you said he walked away initially?
I was by my tubes.
Okay. So you don't remember him walking away from your tubes?
I do not.
You don't remember him turning his back to you?
I do not. I do not.
You remember the blonde person, the blonde woman come over though, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember Mr. Miu walking over to her? Remember that?
I do not.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the comments that are coming from the defense table. You're obviously getting...
Hold on. Please, gentlemen, it's late in the day. We're tired. I just want to have a clean Q&A. Please keep the side conversations, the table talk to yourself. That's where I'm going to end it.
So, Mr. Wire, I'm going to show you, we're going to start this at 51 seconds, okay? And I'm going to stop it and just see if that maybe does anything in terms of helping you remember anything, okay? So,
who is this? Yes. For the culture. Who is that?
So you see Mr. Miu walking away from your group, moving over toward the blonde person, the woman, right?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, are you still scared?
When more people, adults, start to come, I felt a little bit more secure.
Okay. You agree that when he walks over toward the blonde, you guys can pass on by, right?
Yes.
Don't you want to get away from him?
Yes.
So passing on by would be a way to get away from him, yes?
Yes.
But you don't. Your group stays, right?
We stayed there, yes.
Yeah, and you stay, right, because you see this woman coming over and she's giving it to him, isn't she? She's yelling at him.
She's telling him to leave.
Right, she's telling him to leave, but you agree you just could have left, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I think you said this, you're becoming, as the numbers increase, your fear level is decreasing, right?
Because they were adults and I was a kid, yes.
So the answer is the more people that show up, the less fearful you're becoming.
Yes.
Okay. And would you agree that your confidence is rising as well?
Your Honor, the relevance. I don't understand the question.
Sustained.
Your confidence in the situation, in terms of what's going on, you're becoming more confident in your position there, right?
Same objection.
Sustained. Come on up if you have questions.
Oh, okay, Judge. That's all right. Thank you. Do you feel safer with more people around?
I felt safer with the adults around, yes.
Okay. And with the adults around, does your behavior to Mr. Miu change?
Yes.
It becomes more taunting, right?
Becomes less fearful.
Okay, well, do you show signs that you're becoming less fearful?
Yes.
Okay, and you do that by taunting him, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember this? There's a point where your group is kind of around him. You're all pointing at him in his face calling him a predator, right? You remember that?
I remember that people had called him that, yes.
And that happens after these other people come over, right?
Yes.
Okay, so once you see, and then tell me if I'm right, there's about 4 or 5 people initially that come over, right?
I do not remember how many people came over.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you, I need to mark this. Show you what has been marked as exhibit number 105, and we can show you, can you tell me, is there a picture next to kind of a diagram there?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And in that picture, can you tell the jury if you recognize, what do you see there?
I see Nicolae. I see Isaac. And I think that's Ryan.
Ryan Nelson?
In those swim shorts, I think that is. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Is it fair to say those are some of the guys that you're, minus Mr. Miu, there's some of the guys that you're with, right?
Yeah, it's tubes as well.
Okay, and your tube, there's pictures of your tubes there, some of them?
Yes.
Okay. To the right of that, you would see where it says G1 and then there's a G2. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. And if I tell you that the blue M stands for Mr. Miu, and these initials are the people in your group, okay?
Okay.
Do you think that that is, in this particular picture, a fair estimate of where people are? For example, Mr. Schuman's in front of Mr. Miu. Mr. Nelson is over to the side, like you mentioned. Is that a fair and accurate representation?
It seems roughly correct, yes.
Okay. And so I guess I would move 105.
Any objection?
Well, I do have an objection, Your Honor. I'm looking at it, and
What's the objection?
Ryan Nelson's listed twice. It's not accurate.
So the objection is foundation.
Foundation, it's not the evidence.
Mr. Officer, do you want to clean it up with him?
I will, Judge. Mr. Weyer, in terms of making sure I have it right, Mr. Nelson was labeled twice. What wasn't labeled on there, if you can take a look at it, we've changed it. You were with a gentleman by the name of Owen Pelican, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he's now written in there. He wasn't written in there before, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, with the change of changing Ryan Nelson twice to now adding Mr. Pelican, does that appear to be a fair and accurate representation?
If LM is me, yes. My last name starts with a W, though.
Understood. I'm getting your name wrong, so. But otherwise, it's a fair and accurate representation. Now,
Objection? Received. What was the number again?
I'm sorry, the exhibit is 105, Judge.
105?
So, Mr. Weyer, at one point where, and you, I guess I'll ask it to you this way. You hear the blonde, her name is Madison Cohen, she comes over and you describe her as being in Mr. Miu's face, right?
She was standing by him in front of him. She was standing in front of his face, yes.
Right. You use the description in his face, yes?
If that's what I said, yes.
Okay. And to you, does in his face mean she's kind of in his personal space?
Just means in his face, face to face.
And during the time that Ms. Cohen's doing this, Mr. Miu's not reacting in any type of violent or aggressive way, right?
He's
yelling at him?
He's standing in front of her, not doing what she's asking him to do.
In a non-violent, aggressive way?
Yes.
And when you guys surround him and start calling him predator and pedophile, what's the purpose of that?
He said something about a little girl, so with him being a grown man, that's he said something about little girls, so that had us feeling like he was a predator.
So you felt like he kind of deserved it, right?
I felt like we were saying that because of what he said.
Okay. Was that captured on video by chance?
I don't believe so.
So, other than your statement today, there's no other recording or written documentation of that happening, right?
No.
And as you see Madison Cohen and the other woman, Riley Martin, as you see them in his face or in front of him, as you described, I'm going to bring up 2611. Tell me if that's you.
Tell us when you're ready.
Ready? Oh. Yep, sorry, Judge. That's you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this is, if you remember, seconds before, moments before Madison Cohen, you say you see her punched, right?
This is before I saw her get punched, yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to run you from 2611. And move it forward. But before I do that, I want to ask you this. You look like, that's Juwan Cockfield holding the camera, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You look like you're looking at him. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you recall, are you guys like looking at each other laughing about just what's happening?
I don't necessarily know what we were laughing about or looking at each other, just looking at each other.
Okay. You're not sure why you're laughing though, right? That's what you just said?
For the specific reason, no.
Okay. All right. You're not, is it fair to say at this point you're not looking at Mr. Miu or Miss Cohen? True?
Yes.
That's true?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just play? Now, if I told you right there, the group moves forward, and there's been information that that's the point where Mr. Miu strikes Miss Cohen. Would that be fair? Would you recognize that as that's the timing?
I don't know. I can't see.
Okay. Well, we'll play it a little more. Right, and now you see Mr. Miu going down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you believe the woman who's in the front here with holding the alcoholic beverage, she's the one that gets hit. Yes? The other person.
I can't remember. I was behind her, so I just knew she had blonde hair.
You were behind her, and you were looking at Juwan Cockfield, right?
I was looking at Juwan before he struck her.
Okay. What I want to know is, can you say whether or not that blonde woman in this picture is the person that you saw get struck?
I would think that's her if that's the only girl with blonde hair that was in it talking to him right before.
Well, there's another woman in the picture as well. See her leg there?
Yes.
Tattoo on it?
She had blonde hair as well.
You can't ask me questions, but what I can do is just say whether or not you can pick out which one of those two people was struck.
I can't. I don't know which one it was.
Okay. Do you know how she was struck?
Just remember him striking her. I don't exactly know how.
Which hand?
I don't remember. I believe it was the right.
Okay. And do you know where on her body she was struck?
Her face.
Okay. There's been various demonstrations as to how that happened, meaning what type of punch it was. How would you describe it?
I don't remember. I just remember him striking her.
And I think you said she went down, right?
What I thought I remembered seeing, yeah.
That you saw her fall to the ground?
I thought she fell to the ground, yeah.
Okay. And do you think that because that's what you saw?
Yeah.
Okay. You'd agree that blonde girl right there, she's got a drink in her hand, right? You see that?
She has a drink in her hand, yes.
Yeah, you see the cell phone in her swim top? See that?
Yes.
Okay. And she looks like she's yelling, right? Speaking, doing something?
Her mouth is open, yeah.
Okay. You're saying that you saw her fall down?
I don't remember exactly which girl it was. It was the girl with blonde hair. I was behind her. So I don't know if that's exactly the...
But what you're certain of is one of them fell?
One of them for sure got striked, and I thought they fell to the ground, yes.
Okay. And then you describe to officers as a bunch of guys came and got on him, right? That's how you use the descriptive, right?
That's what I said, yes.
Okay. So you see him get punched in the face.
I saw him get punched, yeah.
Okay. And then you say a bunch of guys came and got on him, right? What do you mean by that?
I just saw people flock towards him after the woman got striked.
Did you see anything else after that? After he went down?
After he went down, then I started seeing people who were stabbed.
You saw people stabbed after he went down?
After he went down, got up, then I just saw people stabbed.
Did you see him struck while he was on the ground again?
I did not.
Did you see him get struck when he was being pushed in the back?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did it appear to you that he was getting the worst of this? He was getting beat up?
I remember that after he punched somebody came and punched him.
All right, I get that. The question is, when you say a bunch of guys came and got on him, are you saying that you believed he was getting beat up?
I believe that people went towards him after he had already struck somebody.
And were beating him up?
I saw him get punched. I didn't see anything. After that, it was a commotion.
Okay. Now, you said that you were close enough. You got close enough to Mr. Miu that he could have hurt you, right?
Yes, I was standing feet away from him.
Okay, but he didn't hurt you, right?
No.
And you didn't touch him at all, did you?
During when he was standing over there, no.
At any point, do you put your hands on Mr. Miu?
No, I never touched him.
Okay. And so he never touches you, does he?
He touched me earlier on.
I mean, he never touches you in a way that causes you any injuries?
I never got injured, no.
Right. Okay. Sure, I don't have any questions for you. Thank you for your time, sir.
Mr. Smithstead?
Just a couple, Judge. Landon, did you ever call Mr. Miu a raper at any time you had this interaction with him?
I don't remember specifically saying anything, but I do remember hearing things on the video. People.
I want to ask you exactly what you remember yourself saying. Do you remember yourself ever calling him a predator?
No.
Do you remember other folks in your group?
I remember hearing people say it, yes.
Did you ever call him yourself a pedophile?
Sorry, what?
Did you ever yourself call him a pedophile while this was going on?
Not that I remember.
Were other people in your group calling him a pedophile?
I just remember someone calling him something along the lines of that pedophile, yes.
They asked you about the blonde girl falling down. As you sit here today, is that something you remember happening, or is that something you think might have happened?
I remember her getting struck, and I thought she fell to the ground, from what I remember.
Is that your recollection of the event?
Yes.
Mr. Trofsky asked you about your statement to the cops that a bunch of guys got on him. Do you know how many guys got on Mr. Miu after he fell in the river?
No, I just remember as soon as she got punched, several guys, took.
Were any of those guys people from your group?
No.
Nothing else.
Mr. Trofsky? No? All right. Thank you, Mr. Wire. You may step down. Please see the witness court.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and feel free to leave a comment. Have a blessed day.